giving farms their due. Even before the parliamentary election were held in 2024, the Narendra Modi government had asked all secretaries to prepare a policy agenda to be announced in the first 100 days of Modi 3.0. They were pretty sure that BJP was coming back with a thumping majority. The actual result of parliamentary election were humbling for the party. It as it fell way short of its target of 370, yet the enthusiasm of first 100 days was not waned. BJP now is running a coalition government, and therefore it will have to accommodate the demands of its major allies, especially N. Chandrababu Naidu and Nitish Kumar, so that the government can continue to do its job without much difficulty. What has it done differently? While there is an overall thirst manufacturing, especially high-tech chip making, etc., there are also many changes in other sectors. I cannot cover all that here is that column in this column, nor do I have expertise to analyze and assess the efficiency of the step undertaken in those areas. I would limit myself to agriculture and rural development space which affect the welfare of masses most. On the agriculture front, the Modi government 3.0 started off with a new union minister of agriculture and farmers welfare, Shivraj Singh Chauhan, and he was also given the additional charge of rural development, bringing a minister with ample experience as the longest serving chief minister of Madhya Pradesh, and who transformed agriculture in Madhya Pradesh, signaled a high priority that agriculture and rural development may get under Modi 3.0. The first major decision that was taken was to distribute 20,000 crore under PM Kisan, a commitment that it made to 2019 to give 6,000 per year, the most of the deserving agricultural household. Is it signaled clearly that direct cash transfer under PM Kisan scheme will continue under Modi 3.0, although I had expected that its nominal value would be adjusted for inflation over the last 5 years, and rupees 6,000 amount would be increased at least 8,000 per household. That hope was belied. The Union Budget 2024-25 also, we had expected a major increase in agri R&D allocations to deal with climate change issue, but there too not much real increase in the budget allocation. It seemed business as usual, but the major announcements came later, somewhat as a surprise, when the union government approved 7 schemes for agriculture, ranging from digitalization of agriculture, land records, farmers identity cards, etc., to crop science for food and nutrition security, and the backdrop of climate change, the horticulture for nutrition and profitability, livestock health and production for sustainability and profitability, natural resource management for climate resilience and clean environment, agriculture education for skilled human resource, and Krishi Vigyan Kendras for better outreach for farmers. A sum of roughly 14,000 crore has been allocated for these schemes to be implemented in the next 2 to 3 years or so. All these are steps in the right direction, and if implemented properly and quickly, they can bring rich return economically and politically. Let me explain with the example of digitalization of agriculture. Identification of farmers is the first step. Distinguishing between an owner operation and tenant is the next step. Right now, India's official figure of around 17% tenancy is way below what micro surveys reveal it could be anywhere between 25 to 30%, if not more. The problem with oral tenancy is that those farmers have been limited access to institutional credit at 7% for or 4% which owner operators get. Borrowing at interest rate 24 to 36%, tenants farmer can never make agriculture a profitable business. Tenant farmers don't get even the benefit under PM Kisan. The problem of proper identification of who is actual tiller needs to be resolved as soon as possible. Giving them access to institutional credit is the must at lower rates of interest. But digitalization of agriculture has to go way beyond just identifies farmers. There is a need to know what crops they are growing, whether they are insured or not, how much fertilizer they are using, what is the status of their soils, whether they are receiving food subsidies, free rice and wheat, etc. What is the need of triangulation of various data sets related to agriculture, which are fragmented in today into common agri stack? For example, soil health card are not linked to fertilize purchase. And why does a rice grower, for example, need to be given rice from the public distribution system? If we can triangulate various data sets and use them to tweak our fertilizer and food subsidies, it can lead to massive saving of higher efficiency in the use of public resource. The marginal rates of returns from digitalization of agriculture then can be more than 10 times the investment being made to do it. That would be a tremendous boost in this sector as well as the efficiency of public expenditure. Similar returns can come from investment in other schemes of agriculture, especially those focused on creating climate resilience agriculture. On the rural development front, Modi 3.0 announced an additional 20 million houses to be built in rural areas with government support that would give another boost to rural economy, creating jobs in rural areas for mason, carpenters, electricians, etc. Beside giving much needed dignity and hygiene to poor people in rural areas, that will be a commendable welfare step for the masses, and many also give political mileage to the government. Lastly, under the PM Gram Sadak Yojana, Modi 3.0 has announced its intention to invest 75,000 crore. Our research reveals that investment in rural roads give high returns in terms of agri GDP and poverty alleviation, as it opens up market for rural people. All this brings some hope for agriculture and the rural economy. Low and high skilled jobs gaps rising as manufacturing stagnation continues. Over the past 2 decades, India's economic growth has increasingly been driven by the service sector, particularly in information technology, banking, and finance. But the expansion of services sector since the return of the century has coincided with the noticeable declining in traditional industries such as apparel and footwear, which provide livelihood for millions of low-skilled workers. The stagnation in manufacturing, which continued to remain around 14% and well short of targeted 25%, has exacerbated the divide between high-skilled and low-skilled jobs. Although job creation and income levels are far a large pool of qualified IT professionals have increased, particularly with multinational companies establishing data analytics and software development hubs known as global capacity center in India. The country's manufacturing weakness have caused it to fall behind Bangladesh in textile, Thailand in machinery, and Vietnam in electronics. This had led to consistent decline in the creation of low-skilled jobs across the country. Economists have highlighted that country with a population of 1.4 billion cannot rely solely on the service sector and will need all sectors the economy to contribute to job creation. According to the economic survey 2023-24, India needs to create nearly 7.85 million jobs annually in the non-farm sectors and accommodate growing workforce. However, the Center more monitoring Indian economy reported that national unemployment rate suggested 7% surged from 7% to 9% in June 2024, decline in labor-intensive jobs. A new World Bank report released earlier in this month identified a worrying trend. Export related jobs in India have been declining over the past decades. Direct employment linked to exports peaked at 9.5% of total domestic employment in 2012 but fell to 6.5% in 2020. The World Bank attributed this decline to a dominance of service sector and high skilled manufacturing in India's export basket, since these sectors are less suited to absorbing large portions of the Indian workforce. Job creation due to trade has diminished. The World Bank observation aligns with the stark contrast between growth of services and manufacturing exports from India. While India's service exports constitutes 4.3% of world's commercial services export, good exports barely account of 1.8% of the global goods market, resulting in low job generation in the manufacturing sector. This is particularly concerning as India has been unable to capitalize on the opportunity presented by China's exit from low skilled manufacturing between 2015 to 2022. Despite a decrease in China's participation in low skilled manufacturing for apparel, leather, textiles, and footwear, countries such as Bangladesh and Vietnam, and even advanced economies like Germany in the Netherlands, have become a primary beneficiaries of China's shrinking market share. With an aim to boost scale in Indian textile sector, the Center 2023 had approved the setting up of 7 PM Mega Integrated Textile Region and Apparel PM Mitra parks to develop world-class infrastructure and an outlay of rupees 4,445 crore for a period up to 2007, 27 and 28. Last month, the Cabinet Committee of Economic Affairs, chaired by Prime Minister Narendra Modi, had also approved setting up 12 industrial smart cities under the National Industries Corridor Development Program. With the estimated investment of rupees 28,602 crore, query emailed to the Ministry of Commerce and Industry of Ministry of Textile over the widening skill gaps remained unanswered till the time of going to press. Rise in global capability centers. Even as manufacturing in traditionally high labor intensive sectors has slowed, India has emerged as a key market for multinational companies to establish data analytics and software development centers, leveraging the large pool of qualified IT engineers in the country. These countries, known as global capability centers, have proliferated in India with close 1600 GCC from multinational companies across various sectors. India has become to the world what China is for tech hardware. Leading companies from sectors such as modern trade, apparel, finance, consumer electronics, automobiles, and shipping have established major headquarters in India to manage core functions including design, inventory, supply, claim management, and transportation. While the transition from early business process outsourcing BPO days and IT services sector boom and establishment of more advanced GCC had largely been evolutionary with minimal government support. The center is currently discussing a new IT policy with the industry aiming to double the number of GCC in the countries over the next 5 years, as reported by the Indian Express. However, despite of rise in GCC, the IT service sector, a bellwether Indian skilled employee employment had recently seen slump in hiring. Leading companies like TCS, Infosys, Wipro, HCL Tech, and Tech Mahindra major recruiters of young Indians have witnessed a significant drop in their workforce in 2024 compared to 2023, with their collective headcount reducing by more than 61,000 individuals. It is worth noting that these companies still have a substantial existing bench strength and continue to be major employer of entry level engineers in the country. Declining participation in global value chains. Low participation in global value chains is one reason India has struggled to generate sufficient trade-related jobs. According to the World Bank, around 70% of international trade involves GVC. But despite rapid economic growth, India's trade in goods and services has decreased as the percentage of GDP, and its participation in GVC gross value C gross value chains has declined over the past 5 years. The World Bank's firms level data showed that Indian exports with GVC linkage demonstrate stronger export performance and greater diversification in products and markets compared to those without such connections. However, India's participation in GVC has been declined due to issues such as difficulties in procuring raw materials and high transport costs. In May 2023, Niti Aayog CEO BVR Subramaniam also highlighted India's limited integration into GVC is a significant issue for India to improve at participation, and fundamental changes including reducing tariffs and simplifying procedures are required. Notably, India's average tariffs rose 18.1% in 2022, up from 13% in 2014, making India less competitive compared to countries like Vietnam, Thailand, and Mexico. GST Council forms GOM to review tax rate on health life insurance report by October 30. The GST Council on Sunday constituted 13-member group of ministers to suggest GST rate on premiums of various health and life insurance products and submit its report by October 30. Bihar Deputy Chief Minister Samrat Chaudhary is convener of GOM. The member of the panel included members from Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, West Bengal, Karnataka, Kerala, Andhra, Goa, Gujarat, Meghalaya, Punjab, Tamil, Telangana. 54th GST Council meeting on September 9 decided to set up a GOM to examine and review the present tax structure of GST on life and medical insurance. A final call by Council on the taxation of insurance premiums is likely to be taken in the next meeting to November based on GOM report. Currently, 18% of goods and service tax is levied on insurance premium. The term of references of the panel also includes suggesting tax rate of health, medical, and insurance, including the individual groups, family floater, and other medical insurance for various categories like senior citizens, middle class person with the mental illness. Also suggests tax rates on life insurance, including term insurance, life insurance with investment plans, whether individual or group, or reassurance. The GOM is to submit the report on October 30, 2024, said office memorandum issued by GST Council secretaries on the constitution of GOM on life and health insurance. Some opposition ruled states including West Bengal had demanded complete exemption of GST on health and life insurance premiums, while some other states were in favor of lowering a tax to 5%. Even Transport Minister Nitin Gadkari had in July written to Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman on issue, saying that levying GST on life insurance premium amount to levy tax on the uncertainties of life 2023-24 the centre and states collected 8262.94 crore through GST health insurance premiums, while rupees 1484.36 crore was collected on account of GST on health reinsurance premiums. Sitaraman in her reply to a discussion on finance bill in Lok Sabha in August had said that 75% of the GST collected goes to states, and the opposition members should ask their state finance minister to bring proposal to the GST council.